gonna be like a fake dating kind of situation. That was really cute. Like, he's just the perfect shadow daddy. Oh my god, I was not expecting that ending. Hello everybody and welcome back, or welcome to another video. Now, I've got the weekend off, and usually when I have a weekend off I like to do a 24-hour readathon, but this weekend I've kind of got a few bits that I need to do, like editing, filming videos, so I can't really dedicate the time to sitting down for 24 hours and reading straight. So I thought I'll just do sort of like a weekend read with me, like a 72-hour reading vlog, because I've got 3 days off. So that's what this video is. It's kind of like a 72-hour readathon with my 3 days off. Kind of a mood read with me with the weekend. You name it what you want. Kind of got like a little TBR that I wanted to show you, because these are some books that I'm like kind of excited for. Obviously I'm not going to read all 5 of these books over the weekend. I wish I could, but my aim is to read 3. That's like a book a day. That's good. That's good going, because even though I've got a few bits I need to do, I have also got a lot of time to read, and I'm in like a reading mood. So let me just quickly go through this TBR and we'll get into the video. We've got book number 3 in the Brave series, which is The Play. Very excited for this. This is on my February TBR, so I'm very excited. A Promise of Peridot, which is book number 2 in the Sacred Stone series by Kate Golden. If you watched my February TBR, you would see that I put these infinite threads on my TBR, but I've since decided to DNF the series, so I've taken these infinite threads off my February TBR and I've put this on instead. So this is also on my February TBR. I've got Spiral by Bal Khabra. Now, this is the second book to Collide. I'm not too sure like what the series is called, whether it's just called Collide, but this has literally just come out, so I'm very excited to read this. And it's kind of short. This is like just over 300 pages, so I feel like we could do this in a day. I've done A Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Now, my friend Danny has been raving to me about reading this. Now, my friend Danny isn't a big romance girly, okay? Like, she much prefers dark romance and fantasy, and now and again she has like a little palate cleanser of romance. But she read Out on a Limb and she rated it 5 stars, and she was like raving about it. And it's not like Danny to rave about like just a cutesy romance, but she was raving about it, so I feel like I need to read it now, otherwise she won't shut up about telling me to read it. And then lastly we got The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Again, a nice short read. These are all kind of short, kind of easy to get through, but I really want to get into this, and I feel like this will be a quick and easy read as well, because the writing's really big, and I don't even think it's 300 pages. It's actually 308 pages, so I feel like, again, really quick and easy. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling now, and let's just get into the sort of weekend mood read with me reading vlog. Wondering if they were like interconnected, because I was trying to think of his name. The main character is Eli Westbrook, and I was trying to think if we'd met Eli Westbrook in Collide, but we have. He literally just said Aidan Crawford is my best friend and teammate, and Aidan Crawford is the main character from Collide, so we have met him. I'm just finding it really hard to place him. Be like a fake dating kind of situation, because I think we've got Eli, who's being like portrayed as the team's playboy, but he's not actually a playboy, it's just what the media's portraying him as. And then we've got Sage, who's a ballerina, and I think her dad or her uncle is something to do with the NHL, and I'm guessing he has connections with Elias. He might be his manager or something. I haven't really got that far in yet, but I think he might do like a fake dating situation to make Elias look better in the media, maybe. I don't know. I'm literally only on page 11. So we're about halfway through this now. Well, almost halfway. We're on chapter 22. I've just like had a shower. I've been editing, like in and out of editing, in and out of reading, and like cleaning and pottering around the house and stuff, and I'm really enjoying this. Like, it's good. Like, when I read Collide, I feel like at the start of Collide I found myself saying that I wasn't really like connected to the characters, but like as the story went on I found myself yourself like wanting to know what happened to them and like wanting to know like how they're, even though like you know how the relationship's gonna end, like it's obviously gonna be a happy ending. Like I was really intrigued to know what their story was basically. I think after reading, like now that I'm halfway through this, like it's good and I'm enjoying it, but I feel like I'm just not as connected to the friendship group. I feel like the reason why I love these like interconnected standalones, like the off-campus series, Chestnut Springs series, the Twisted series, like so many other like interconnected standalones, I feel like I'm so connected to it is because I connect to the friendship and I really love the friendship group that they have. And I think that's one thing that I'm missing from these books is like I'm missing the friendship group, even though they do have the friendship group, and I know it's still early doors, but I just feel like I'm not as like, I don't really love the dynamic of their friendship group as much. I don't know why. And I feel like we are getting a lot of it in this. Like we're getting a lot of Summer and Aiden and the other two boys who are like still in college. We're getting a lot of that, but I'm just not as like interested in the friendship group and not as like invested. So I think that's like taken away from the story for me, because I really want to be like invested in these people's lives. Like that's why I love reading series, because I love being like invested in people's lives. And I feel like I'm just not getting that with this, but I'm still enjoying the individual characters. Like I'm enjoying the story between Elias and Sage. It's really good. I'm enjoying it. It's a cutesy little romance. You can't go wrong. Like at the minute it's just sitting at like a 4-star, you know? It's a really good romance book. And I'm loving the dynamic between Eli and Grace. Grace? Who's Grace? Sage. But I was writing the plot in like the fake dating sense. I wasn't writing like how it's going to be executed, like with the manager setting them up. It's far from that. So as I said, like Eli is being portrayed in the media as this like playboy, and he's being set up, like the media are setting up things to make it look like he's having a new girl on his arm every night, which is like not true. He hasn't, like, I don't think he slept with a girl in like ages. So like none of that is true basically. And then we've got Sage, who's a ballerina, and her parents have basically been, I think they're on the run. They were like drug dealers or something, so she had a bit of a rough upbringing, and the only like constant in her life has been her uncle, who's the manager of Eli's hockey team. He's like the manager. But they basically meet at like this auction night, and there's like this whole plot. I'm not going to go like into the depths of it, but like Sage basically auctions for a date with Eli, and that's sort of like their meet cute. And then they go on like their date, and then I think like they obviously have a good time, blah blah blah. There's like a photo of them then in the press, and the press is basically calling her his girlfriend, and they obviously come to an agreement then that they're gonna stop pestering Eli, saying he's a playboy if he has a girlfriend, and because she's like trying to become a professional ballerina, but she keeps on having like failed audition after failed audition. She thinks if she has like more of a following in the media and things like that, and she's like out there and she's got like someone famous on her arm, then she's gonna get better auditions. So they have this fake dating agreement, and yeah, it's really good at the minute. It's just sort of like, there's nothing special about it, you know? There's nothing wow. It's just like every other sort of like romance book I've read. There's nothing that's like standing out to me, and it's good. I enjoy it. Like it's just one of those, like, what's it called? What's the word I'm thinking of? Guilty pleasure. Yeah, it's just like a guilty pleasure. It's just like a simple romance. We haven't had much spice yet, which I'm like happy with, because like I said, I'm almost halfway anyway. I can't remember what page I'm on. I'm on chapter 22, wherever that is. 162. I'm on page 162, and we haven't had any spice yet. There's just been like little moments here and there, but I'm enjoying it. It's good. It's going good so far, but I'm gonna carry on reading, and I will update you guys when I'm done, because I think I'm going to finish this tonight. Definitely going to finish this tonight. And then we can choose our next read. I'm debating. Like, I definitely want to read Out on Limb this video. But then I'm like, do I want to read The Naturals or a Promise of Peridot? I feel like we could go with The Naturals. So Out on a Limb and The Naturals. But I don't know. We'll see how I feel. We'll see. Because this is just like, you know, a mood reading vlog basically for me with the weekend. So yeah, let's just continue reading. spoke to you. Well, I think I last spoke to you yesterday. Have I spoken to you today? I don't know. I can't remember, but I have filmed some bits. As you would have seen, I've started my second book for the weekend, which is A Promise of Peridot. Almost halfway. I'd probably say I've got like a few pages until I'm halfway, but I'm on chapter 18, page 160. First of all, I finished Spiral last night, devoured it in one sitting, as you would have seen. I settled on like a 4-star. It was good. It was alright. It was like, I don't know, it was just really enjoyable. There was nothing like wow about it. It was just like an easy, fun hockey romance that you can't go wrong about. And I loved like the ballerina aspect of it, because I haven't read many books with a ballerina in it. I think the only one is Powerless by Elsie Silver. I think that's the only like ballerina book that I've read, because I do find myself sometimes going down a rabbit hole on TikTok of like, sometimes I end up on ballet side of TikTok and I get really intrigued by ballerinas. So I was really happy to see a lot of like ballet talk from Sage side, like POV. But I've obviously already told you about like the dynamics between Elias and Sage, but it was just good, you know. There was nothing like wow. Like I've already mentioned about like the friendship dynamic that they have, like the group that's like forming. Like you can see there's a group forming, but I just don't feel connected to them like I do when I read like the off-campus series and things like that. Like I'm not as invested in the friendship group and the found family aspect. You can see the found family aspect is like forming, but I'm just not that connected to them. It's still a really good book. Definitely gonna be like continuing with the series, like just a guilty pleasure of mine, to be honest. But we're obviously reading A Promise of Peridot now by Kate Golden, and I forgot how much I love this world, so I read it on Onyx last summer sometime. I read it in like 24 readathon, so it's been a while since I read it and I'd forgotten so much about it, so I did have to do like a little recap. I watched like a recap video just because there's like a whole prophecy and stuff that's going on, and the world building and the magic system I'd kind of forgotten a bit, so I had to look up a recap video just to sort of get a gist of what was happening, because I knew like how it ended. I remembered like the little, like the big bits, but I couldn't remember like the little details about the prophecy and what they were like gonna do. Basically we basically start this book as soon as Dawn of Onyx ends, but I can't really tell you much about what's going on in the book because it's just gonna ruin it for you. Like it ruined Dawn of Onyx for you. But Dawn of Onyx was a 5-star for me, and I'm not too sure what this book, I feel like because it's a trilogy, this book is going to be like that bridge. It's going to be like middle book syndrome, but it, like so far it's not giving middle book syndrome, but I feel like it's not going to be a 5-star. Depending how the plot advances and how it progresses, I don't think it's going to be a 5-star, but it's obviously it's going to be like a 4-star or above, definitely, like 100%, but it's not giving 5-star feeling at the minute. But I do love that we get Kane's POV in this. We get to see inside Kane's mind and what he's thinking, and I'm just like he's just the perfect shadow daddy. Like if you want a shadow daddy to obsess over, read the Sacred Stones trilogy, please. Like Kane Ravenhood is the shadow daddy you all need to be obsessed with. We're just sort of like trudging along at the minute, so we've obviously got this like prophecy that we're trying to work out that Arwen's got a big deal in. Like she's like the main thing to do with this prophecy, and we're just sort of like trudging through everything at the minute. We're trying to find this like specific sword that's to do with the prophecy. It's like a sword or like a blade or something like that, but it's the main thing to do with this prophecy to like end the war that's going on. But I can't really tell you more than that. That's all I'm able to tell you, so that's why I think that this is going to give middle book syndrome, because I feel like this is just going to be a lot of info dumping, a lot of like exploring and discovering and like setting up for the final book where everything comes to a conclusion and all the action's going to be. But I will say, I've always wondered when I've read these books, I'm sure Kate Golden's taken inspiration from Wales, like with the names and the map, because this is the map. This here is the map of Wales. I'm from Wales, by the way, if you didn't know. That there's the map of Wales, and then like you got Arwen, that's a Welsh name, and then you got Mary, that's a Welsh name. You got Griffin. Griffin isn't a Welsh name, but it's the way that it's spelled, like it's with a double F. That's the Welsh way. And then there's just so many other little things in here that like point to like Welsh heritage, and I've looked it up. She's not from Wales. I think she's from like LA or something like that. They said she's not from the UK like at all. She's taken like, I just want to know, like, because I don't really read books. Like I read a lot of books with like Irish law or Scottish law and things like that. I've never really read anything with a lot of like Welsh law, so you know, I'm a bit proud. I want to know the ins and outs of where she's got her inspiration from. So I'm going to do some digging, and I'm actually going to try and find out if there's like anywhere she's like had any interviews or anything like that and said where she's got inspiration, because it's not really like a big series, it's not raved about enough, and I honestly do think this should be raved about, because I think it was only picked up last year to be traditionally published, because they were just indie published first, but I think maybe last year or the year before they got picked up to be traditionally published. I don't feel like a lot of people know about these books, but you should definitely go read them. They're like a 10 out of 10. Like if you need a shadow daddy to obsess over, and like fae and prophecies and like adventure, and it's honestly so good. Like the world building is amazing. The way the world is set up is like you have different provinces, and the provinces are set up into, well, they're not provinces, they're like kingdoms, and you have like the Onyx Kingdom, Peridot Province, Opal Territories, Quartz Kingdom of Amber, the Pearl Mountains, the Garnet Kingdom, and if you didn't know, all those are named after stones. That's why it's called the Sacred Stones trilogy. But like within each kingdom or province, they're obviously all named after stones. So like the Onyx Kingdom is described as being like dark and gloomy because the onyx stone is like black basically, so that's where our shadow daddy is from. The Kingdom of Amber, now the amber stone is obviously orange, and the Kingdom of Amber is described as being like very autumnal, very orange, just very autumnal. Imagine like, you know, Gilmore Girls at its best time, like that. But yeah, you should just read these. Honestly, 10 out of 10. I love these books. It's definitely a 5-star series for me. So I'm gonna continue reading. I want to try and get, because obviously this is like me on my days off. Now it's like a weekend reading vlog, but tomorrow's Monday, but it's like my 3rd day off tomorrow, so it's basically still the weekend for me. If I can get to page like 250 today, or if I can get like to page 300 today, we'll only have like 150 pages left to read tomorrow, and then we can like read a 3rd book within this reading vlog as well. So that's my plan. I'm going to try my best to get to as close as 300 as possible, and then we'll finish the rest tomorrow and we can start another book. I'm going to get back into bed, I'm going to cozy up, read as much as this as I can, and then Love Island's on at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to stop reading at 9 o'clock. So if I can get to page 300 by 9 o'clock, I'll be happy with that. Just under 100 pages left, so let's get this done. Also, did I just pay £2.99 to download it on my Kindle? Yes, I did. Not expected that. This is only the 2nd book. Surely the prophecy doesn't end here. I feel like I'm in denial. Oh my god, I was not expecting that ending. I feel like I need to go in with the 3rd book straight away. So it's obviously a little while later since I finished A Promise of Peridot by Kate Golden, and I've decided to settle on a 4.75. I almost gave it a 5-star, but then I was like, no, I didn't really like when I closed the book, even though I was like shocked by the way it ended. It wasn't really given 5-star feeling, but it almost did. Like the only reason it's not a 5-star is because of like the slow beginning. I feel like it was quite slow at the start. Even though it was slow, there was like a lot of info dumping, but also like the female main character was just doing my head in a bit. Like obviously we've got this prophecy, but I can't tell you what it is because it'll spoil the 1st book for you. Like we got this prophecy, and Arwen, our female main character, was like, she was just being a bit of a grumpy bitch through the 1st half of the book, and she was just a bit like, ugh, why me? Like just complaining a lot of the time, like sort of giving up a little bit, and it kind of did my head in a bit because it dragged on for a bit too long. But 4.75, immaculate vibes, like Kane. But the ending, like I was done. Like, you see my reaction to the ending. I was simply like, no, how can that be the end? I need to go in with the second book immediately. I would love to go into the second book, but I am gonna end this video here. We have only read 2 books this weekend, but I got home from training a bit late and we're not gonna have time to fit another book in. Like tonight, I just haven't got the brain power to read a whole book in one sitting tonight. We are just gonna end the vlog here with only read 2 books. I think that's gonna go in 2 books in 3 days, and I worked it out. I think we'd read 790 pages in the last 3 days, so I feel like that's gonna go in. We've got a 4-star and a 4.75. I think that's gonna go in for the weekend, and I feel like this was just like a really chilled reading vlog. Like, there was no pressure of like reading anything specific. I could just pick up what I wanted, because I feel like a lot of the time with my reading vlogs there's like a very specific TBR, or there's like someone else picks for me, or do you know what I mean? Like, I never really get to like mood read, so I feel like this weekend I really did need to just read what I wanted to read. And I feel like doing these videos will help me like not slump, because I feel like I could really feel myself just going into a slump, because the last few like reading vlogs I've done, or the ones that I've got coming up, are going to be very like specific in the themes and things like that. So I feel like just picking up what I wanted for the weekend has like prevented me from slumping. So I feel like we've had a successful chilled reading vlog, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know why I'm like waving these books around. You don't need to see them, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, you know what to do. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, all that jazz. Also, let me know what your thoughts were on these 2 books, and I'm just gonna end this vlog here. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.